Last night was a historic night in Charlotte for Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle Larson leads a majority of the laps and finally finds victory lane after 3 second place finishes in a row the last 3 weeks. And much more we got to talk about on this episode of Running the Pack. So let's get right into it. So yeah, as I said, last night was a historic night in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle Larson breaking the tie with Richard Petty for the winningest organization of all time, Petty Enterprises and Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle Larson led 327 laps en route to victory, so he finally won a dominated race. And actually, ironically, the first win he's had in a cup race that's over 400 miles, which is pretty close to the shortest distance of cup races we have. All his previous race wins were on 400-mile or less races. Just looking back through them, he's won a lot at Michigan in an auto club, and actually that was a storyline coming into today. Was the last time he was on 3 second-place finishes in a row, he won from the pole at Auto Club. So, yeah, it was a lot kind of looking like it was going to be him. He was my pick for the race win, so I obviously was pretty happy with the results there, at least in terms of my fantasy lineup, which we will get to later in the video. But I think we just need to take a minute to just appreciate the amount of talent Hendrick Motorsports has had over the years. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, just to name a few. Terry Labonte being another one. Just so many talented drivers over there, accumulating now 269 wins, and I have no confidence that they're stopping here. Unlike Petty Enterprises, which is pretty much slowed down to practically stopped on win count, at least for the time being. Eric Jones hasn't really been all that close to victory lane yet this year in the Petty number 43. But yeah, it was almost another 1, 2, 3, 4 for Hendrick, which they accomplished at Dover a couple weeks ago. But ultimately, Kyle Busch in third was the one thing that separated them and kept them out of that that 1, 2, 3, 4 lineup. So it was Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch third, fourth William Byron, and rounding out your top 5 was Alex Bowman. I'm just going to kind of go through our top 10. The rest of our top 10 was pretty much summed up of a lot of underdogs, and then you had Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. So you had Austin Dillon 6th, 7th was Denny Hamlin, 8th Chris Buescher, who's having an incredible season. I mean, I can't believe the type of season Chris Buescher is having. Tyler Reddick 9th, he ran pretty well all day, and then Kevin Harvick managing a top 10 finish out of what probably was looking like it was going to be a top 5 day before the rest of the Hendrick cars caught up somewhat to Kyle Larson's pace, but he was already gone by the time they caught up to his pace, even close. Looking down through the rest of the list, not really many notable finishers. Joey Logano had a blown tire late in the race, which we'll talk about the broadcast in the video tomorrow. But let's just say the broadcast is not going to be getting too much love in the video tomorrow. But yeah, so Joey Logano blew a tire, or had a tire going down late in this race. Ultimately finishes 17th, 2 laps down. All 3 other SHR cars finished outside of the top 20, but at least this week they didn't wreck any equipment. On the bright side, when that's the bright side, I really don't know what to say about the dark side. The fact that they have 3 drivers all outside the top 20. Then you have MTJ also had to make an extra unscheduled pit stop late in this race. I don't remember what that was for, but yeah. And then you had the kind of big storyline, at least early on in this race, within like the first 50, 60 laps or so. You had both Chip Ganassi racing cars coming into the pits with some kind of engine issue, which luckily for them was not terminal, but it definitely took both of them out of contention. Ultimately, they sent Kurt Busch back out on the track after like 10, 11 laps or so in the pit, or in the garage. He was in there for a while. Came back out, blew the engine immediately, and that then turned terminal. And Kurt Busch was out of the race, bringing out one of only 2 cautions that wasn't for stages. So that led to a restart. Chastain went like 38 laps down on pit road, and then ultimately came out of the pits 38 laps down, obviously out of contention, finished 40 laps down, second to last. So the 2 Chip Ganassi cars definitely having a really bad day for the points, and certainly not what either one of them needed, while considering they're 2 of the 4 right on the outside looking in pretty much. Because that's usually what I do when I'm looking at the point cut line, is I'll look at the 4 above that are in, and then the 4 below that are out. Now, granted, we only have about 4 guys that are in that aren't locked in with wins already. Just kind of another note from the races that we had. It felt like they were going by Belicki and David Starr every 5 or 6 laps. They were going by one of those 2 guys, especially the front runners. Really made the battle for second pretty interesting between Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, William Byron, and Alex Bowman, just about kind of getting there, just a bit. So definitely led to an interesting race for second. Just kind of a bummer that it wasn't for the lead, because it would have been a real barn burner finish had that been for the race lead. So ultimately, though, we did have Kyle Larson winning the race. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that battle towards the finish was amazing. So even though most of this race definitely was uninteresting, and as I said, maybe it was much better in person, but certainly the TV aspect has some stuff to talk about. And again, we'll be covering that in a video tomorrow. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to highlight a lot of the top finishers today and get this video out. I've already had like 10 failed recordings or whatnot. So glad to finally be getting this video done. Also a bunch of other stuff, but yep. So that's our that's the race review from Charlotte. Most of everything that happened. Newman blowing a tire was the cause for the only other caution. He finished a number of laps down, 27th, but he did actually get it back to pit road and finish the race. I believe Kurt Busch was the only retirement from the race. So yeah, looking forward to Sonoma and Mid-Ohio next week for the Xfinity and Cup cars. A lot of road course racing. I believe Pro Invitational's back with that that Chicago street course. I don't know if that. I think that's this week. So looking forward to that. Hopefully, that's a good race. That's going to be with the next gen cars. So will be interesting to watch at least. So I may or may not do a video after that one. We'll have to wait and see what my schedule is looking like. If I'll even be able to watch it when it's happening. But yeah, so one other thing we got left to do today is going to be looking at the fantasy lineup. So let's get right to that. Okay, so here we go. Looking at the Fantasy League results. And of course, if you guys want to join this, you can search up the Running with the Pack Fantasy League on your NASCAR app, or you can go down to the description where I should have a link to the league if you guys are interested in joining and playing yourself for a chance at at a shout out from being in this top 10 here. So we're gonna just quickly run through it. GL Racing won the week with 222 points. Keystone Guy 220 points. Eric Anderson rounds out the top 3 with 219 points. Darrell Clark comes in 4th at 217. Joe Schmo and Ian Farm were tied for the 5th position with a 214. Then you got Warrior 7th at a 213. Steve Dyer at a 211. And then myself and Dave Bird tied for 9th and 10th at 202 points. And that'll round out our top 10. Again, just a quick reminder, if you guys want to potentially get a shout out on the video, feel free to go down to the link in the description or go over to your NASCAR app and over to the NASCAR fantasy section and search up our league. But outside of that, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to support the channel, you guys can go check out Patreon, link also in the description, possibly get your name over on that side column at the end of these videos. But outside of that, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys next video, live stream, or whatever you guys had to do for the rest of your day. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye!